Hello my dear friends, today we're gonna open and have a look and build some of these MiniVerse Make It Mini Target Edition. I already unzipped these ahead of time to make things a little bit easier, so apologies in advance for all of you out there that love the unzipping part. So this series has been out for a while, and I'm guessing that by this time you guys have already seen plenty of videos and already know exactly what's inside each of these capsules. But for those of you that are new here and have never seen anyone open the Target series, here's what comes in this specific capsule. We've got a very nice Target bag or tote bag. Of course, the collector's guide. This series comes with 12 items to make and collect. And based on everything we got here on the table, it seems like we're gonna make some madeleines, but obviously you guys already know this. We're not gonna make them exactly how they show us here, and we're gonna try something new and different. We also have this favorite day salted caramel flavored cocoa sweet spread. So I guess, long story short, this is some type of chocolate spread that is, I guess, salted caramel flavored. Then we have the head of the Target dog. For those of you that are not from the US, this is basically the mascot of the store Target. We also got a spatula, the usual tweezers, a little bag of favorite day sweet and salty nut topping. We also got this little pedestal with a cloche type of thing. Basically, this is where we would display our madeleines if we were to make them the way they show us. And of course, the star of this ball or capsule, we have a packet of favorite day madeleines. So what I'm thinking to do different with this one is, instead of just decorating the madeleines and just put them in that thing and call it a day, we could probably make a very nice little trifle, like a strawberry trifle with the madeleines, especially since I have all these MiniVerse and Mini Brands Create Master Chef leftovers. And I have the perfect container for this creation. I forgot where I got this from. I think it might have been the Mini Brands Create series, but it could have been the MiniVerse as well. I'm not sure. So let me check something real quick. First of all, here's a closer look at the madeleines. They're pretty accurate, although I feel like the contrast between, the darker parts and the lighter parts is a bit too much. But then again, I haven't had madeleines in a while, so maybe my memory isn't that great. So basically what I want to check is the height of these and whether or not, I think that's good. I just wanted to see if we need to add a layer of that cream first and then build these up, so they're a little bit higher. But I think this works. Yep, I think that looks pretty good. I should have them facing this way, right? I mean, we don't want that bump thingy on the outside because it looks better with this side over here, right? Yeah, for sure. You want to know what else I'm thinking? What if, instead of just having madeleines all over the edges, we put one madeleine and then one half a strawberry, and then one madeleine, one half a strawberry, and so on. Just to give it a little bit of contrast, but let's test that idea first. Put a strawberry over here, right? And then it's gonna be another madeleine, and my camera isn't focusing. Let's try this. There we go, that's better. So then another strawberry, so something like that, even though the strawberries are a little shorter, so yeah. But I think that's good. It gives us a little bit of more, I don't even know how you would call that. It's like geography, height, and peaks and valleys. I don't know. Either way, you get the gist of it. I just really hope that we have enough to fit perfectly in here. I mean, we do have enough, but what I mean is I hope we're not gonna have like a big gap or something like that, but we can figure out when we get there. All right, so I'm gonna use one of these helping hands so that you guys can see nicely, and then also so that it's easier for me to work here. And we're gonna clamp it in place over here and then just adjust it a little bit. All right, so now basically we're just gonna have to place one madeleine. Let me think about this. So if I place them all, yeah, that's not gonna work. I don't want to put the resin first and then put these in because, yeah, I don't want it to be messy and there's stuff here on the side, and if the cream gets in between them a little bit, that's fine. But if it's in front of them like this, I don't like that. You know what? I probably should just stick them in place one at a time. So we're gonna use this cream. This is from the Mini Brands Master Chef edition. And I'm just gonna use a toothpick to get a little bit out. Okay, I need my tweezers for this. So we're putting the madeleine over here. And then from the back, we're just gonna add a little bit of resin. Okay, actually, I think it might work better like this. We're just gonna add a tiny bit of resin to the bottom part. And then we're gonna place it down here and hit it with the UV light. By the way, in case I didn't mention it, we're using the Mini Brands Create strawberries because I think they look a little bit more realistic and they work well for what we're trying to achieve here. So now it's time to put a couple strawberries on either end of this madeleine. Sorry, I meant to say on either side. Or I guess I should say on both sides of this madeleine. We're gonna add a little bit of resin and stick it in place with the UV light. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Now it's time to just do this like 10,000 times until we get a nice circle all around. Alright, now here we have a problem. I'm thinking either to put 2 madeleines or just fill it with strawberries. Probably madeleines because that's what we're doing here. They are the, what do you call it, the main character. That is pretty darn good. I'm actually surprised with myself that I got them so straight and perfect. Now, here's the thing. You see this cream here? I was gonna use it to fill in the middle part, but I think it looks a little bit too translucent. I was hoping it would be more opaque, and I do know why it isn't. That's because then the UV resin, the UV light wouldn't penetrate it, so then, it wouldn't cure. Then I was thinking of using this MiniVerse cream cheese, which is a little bit more opaque, but, we could pretend it's vanilla something. But there was something about it that I still didn't like. And then I found 2 of these chocolate mousse from the Mini Brands Create MasterChef edition. And even though this is not UV resin, it will need to cure. So we have to work relatively fast with it because it's gonna start, I guess, curing. It's basically Decodent cream, and I haven't worked with it, but I guess this is a good time to try it. Plus, we're gonna have the tastiest trifle ever because it's going to be a chocolate strawberry or chocolate mousse strawberry madeleine trifle, which is, the name itself, my mouth is watering already. So let's open this real quick. Oh, okay, so it has a tip. I don't think we're gonna use that. We're just gonna squeeze it out and then work it with the toothpick, move it around. Let's see how chocolatey it is. Oh, yep. I like the way that looks, but I don't like the bubbly part, so I think I'm gonna have to mix it in a little bit. It kind of makes me think about ketchup or mustard, when you have it sitting there for a little bit, and then if you don't mix it, if you don't shake it before, you get that, I don't know what you call it, it's like ketchup water or mustard water, which sucks. Nobody likes that. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Nice and mixed up. Let's see how we're gonna do this. I don't think I'm gonna need the helping hand. And guys, if I ruin this, at least you're gonna learn something new and avoid making the same mistakes I am. Okay, I think that's good for now. That actually looks edible, to be honest with you. So now I'm just gonna try to work it around, get it in all the nooks and crannies, So I'm going to try to kind of like poke it between each of these items here so that we can see it a little bit from the outer part. Not too much. We don't want it to cover, the front part of the strawberry or the front part of the madeleine, but we do need to see it a little bit. Yep, something like that. I think at this point we can add some more. Okay, I don't know, should we add some more? Maybe just a little bit, right? Because it does look kind of empty in a way. Yeah, let's add some more. I guess we didn't just add some more, we added all of it. Hope I'm not gonna regret this. Okay, I think that looks pretty good so far. I wonder if I just tap it a few times, if it's gonna level up a little bit more. Alright, we gotta work relatively fast now, but it's not done yet because just thinking a little bit of whipped cream for contrast. Alright, let's see, should we have this as the front? No, that's gonna be the back. This is gonna be the front. Not that it matters, I guess, because the whipped cream is all around the same. Something like that. I'll definitely need this helping hand now. I feel like now we can add a little bit of these toppings. I just don't know if they're gonna still stick to the decadem cream because I think it starts to harden, but it's fine. Oh boy. See, I don't like that these are not fine enough. Maybe if I purposely grab just a few here and there. That's not very purposely grabbing, but okay, so this decadem cream now officially has a little film. You know how pudding, if you make fresh pudding and it's hot, it creates that little film on top? That's what's happening here right now. I can't add any more. As you can see, even the ones that I did add, they created a little bit of dimples or whatever you want to call those, but it doesn't look too bad. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. Learn from my mistakes if you want to create something similar. For example, work a little bit faster with the cream, because it's gonna get that film pretty quick. What I'm basically doing here is taking a shot of what I think it's best and hoping that you can get inspired and maybe create your own a little bit different, you know, tweak it, make it even better. But yeah, I guess this is my official version of the madeleines from the MiniVerse Target series. Now, let me clean my set real quick and we're gonna move on to the next one. Well, I did clean the set, but before we move on, I forgot to tell you two things that I noticed. First of all, I forgot to show you that we also got some stickers in that capsule with the Target dog doing all kinds of different things. And the second thing I noticed is that little pedestal and the dome cover thingy. It actually fits perfectly over the dish that we chose to build this little trifle in. Now, isn't that something? Since the first one we made was something sweet, let's go for something salty and savory this time. And I'll need this ball over here, but don't worry, I'll replace it with another one so that the set still looks nice and pretty. Okay, in this capsule we got another Target bag, the original mini pizza crust, that's even more mini, I guess, from Market Pantry. One of those pizza trays or whatever it's called. Some classic mozzarella cheese from Good & Gather. A few organic grape tomatoes from Good & Gather. Another one of those Target cloche holder thingy. Tweezers, stickers, a jar of traditional pizza sauce with basil, oregano, and parsley from Good & Gather. Some organic basil, and a pizza cutter. So it's very obvious that we're gonna make a pizza, and you might be wondering, like, what am I gonna do different about it? And while it's nothing you haven't seen before, it's definitely something I've never tried before, but I always wanted to. You know those pizza commercials where they pick up a slice and the cheese is kind of like stretchy and it looks really nice? I'm gonna try do something like that and make it look very realistic. And also I want to use different toppings, so most of the things we got in this ball we're gonna save, and we're just gonna use the pizza crust, the pizza palette thingy that you put it on, and the pizza sauce. Let's put this to the side for now and collect all our ingredients. For my collection of leftover tools, we're gonna need one of those serving utensils. We're actually going to grab two of them because I have different sizes and I don't know which one works best. From the meat department, we're going to grab these slices of pepperoni and maybe some chicken just in case. From the veggie container, we're gonna get the mushrooms and green peppers. Unfortunately, I do not have all the toppings that I would like to be on my pizza, so I'm gonna make do with what I have. For example, I would love some olives, maybe some ham or Canadian bacon. And I know this might sound weird to some of you, but some corn on there would be absolutely amazing. Now for the cheese part, I gathered some different types of yellow resin that I have laying around, you know, different nuances, maybe some white, maybe we can mix some of them and, you know, make a really good, nice cheese color. Because I don't really want the one that looks like cheddar. I want it to look more like mozzarella, or maybe a mix of mozzarella and cheddar. And then last, but certainly not least, we might need some help with this project from the good old spider gel. It's kind of like resin, but better for certain things because it's more stretchy and flexible and it doesn't just break. And to answer the ones of you that were very observant, yes, indeed, I did pull some pasta from my ingredients. And that's because I think we might be able to use the letter O and color it all black to make some olive slices. Honestly, I'm not even sure if some of these are the letter O or Q, but either way, we can cut this little piece away and they're gonna look nice and fabulous. Well, I really wanted a couple more, but unfortunately I can't find any, so I guess these are gonna have to do. And to make them black like the olives, I'm just gonna use a good old Sharpie. Nothing fancy. I could use the Posca markers or whatever they're called, but I think the Sharpie might work just fine. Right, my olives are all done, and I have to say they look quite good. I did not expect them to turn this good and realistic, but it worked. So there you go. That's a tip for you. If you ever want to create olives, use your pasta. So now that we have all our ingredients ready, it's time to cut a slice out of this pizza. And this is the part that I'm actually very nervous about because it's easy to mess it up and not have a nice triangle, but I'm gonna do my best. I think I'm gonna use this little cutting tool because it allows me to get one straight cut and I can see exactly where the middle is going to be. Okay, something like that. And now this other side. Oh boy, that does not look like a perfect slice. I don't know what I did wrong, but I'm gonna try to use the big scissors to finish it up. I mean, it's not terribly bad, but it's not great either. Let me see if I have more crust. I do have more crust, but it looks a little bit different. Still, I think we can get away maybe with something like this. I just want to make sure it's not too small or anything, but it does seem to be exactly the same size. This is more like yellowish and golden. This one looks more realistic, but I really don't like the way it turned out, so we're going to use this one. And this time I'm going to use the big scissors. It's still not perfect, but it is a lot better than the other one. That's for sure. Okay, we're gonna use this one. And guess what? If you want to try the exact same thing, just be more careful with the other crust and you're gonna be able to use the original crust. So first things first, we're gonna slather some traditional pizza sauce all over it. And we're gonna use this brush to get a nice and even layer. We're gonna start with this amount first. And yes, I know that the slice I cut is still staying there and that is on purpose. Oh. Maybe it shouldn't be there. I think I need to brush from that part inward. I think we need just a little bit more sauce. Don't worry, I'm not touching the resin, and the resin is not touching me. Okay. Now that our sauce is nice and spread, it's time to add our toppings. And we're gonna start with some green peppers and some mushrooms. Then we're gonna add a few slices of olives. And then a few slices of pepperoni. And I think this is where we have to move things around a little bit so that it's nice and evenly distributed. I think I'm going to put one more olive over here, and I'm going to go with that saying that less is more, and I don't think I'm going to add anything else because I don't want to overcrowd it and then it looks bad. I think it looks pretty good the way it is right now. Next step is to put this under and then remove that slice. And now we're gonna just cure the resin so that these ingredients are stuck in place. This whole thing lights up like a Christmas tree. It's crazy. So far so good. Now it's time for the difficult and possibly very messy part. I don't even know honestly if I want to use one of these. Yeah, why not? Okay, so let me stick this in place. And the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna add some tomato sauce over here, squish it at the bottom, hit it with the UV lights, and call it a day. Okay, it's coming along nicely. I think that looks pretty good. So now comes the messy part because we're going to use this spider gel, and it's very, very useful, but it can be pretty hard to work with because it's very, very stretchy. I don't know if you can see that little strand that will keep stretching. And even though I wanted this to be more of a white type of cheese, like a mozzarella, it does look a little bit more yellowish. but it's fine. For what we're trying to achieve here, I think it's going to be worth it to use this instead of something else. See what I mean? Look, it keeps stretching forever and ever and ever. This might be a mess. It might be a disaster, but I feel like the concept itself is pretty good. So we're going to slowly work our way, trying to cover the pizza evenly. And we're going to have to take our time with this. Otherwise, it's not going to look good at all. Okay, round one wasn't too shabby. Now we just want to fill in parts of it where it didn't go in nicely. And then also as this sits, the cheese will kind of like spread around a little bit, so it should look better. Now I need just a little bit more on this other side to kind of like balance it out, because we have too much on that left side where the slice is. It's just that the more I wait, the more of this thing is going to spread all over. Now the crazy part is I'm trying to get more on the edges here of this thing, because then I want to lift it up and I want to hit it with the UV light as soon as it's in the air so that the cheese kind of like freezes in place like that. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's definitely worth a try, and it's a good theory. Maybe even if it doesn't work for me, if executed properly or in a different way, it should definitely work. All right, that's good enough. Now, are you guys ready for the most nerve-wracking step ever? This is gonna be crazy, but if it works, it's gonna be epic. So let's see. Well, that worked a lot better than I thought. I don't particularly enjoy how thick it is over here, but check out this other side. That is a lot better, isn't it? I mean, we can't fix that part, it being so thick there, I mean so wide, but we could add more now and make tiny little strands over there, I think. Let's just try, because this part looks a little bit too empty in my opinion. So let's do a couple of those. I told you this thing is really, really messy. I think I just might be making it worse. I think I'm gonna stop here. I don't know. It looks more like nacho cheese rather than cheese for pizza. All in all, it's not too bad. It's really difficult to pull that cheese effect. It definitely does not look like I imagined, but it doesn't look too bad either. I mean, it could have been worse. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop here with this one, because chances are I might make it even worse. It's pretty good overall, but I cannot say I'm completely satisfied with the way it looks. It did look a lot better before the cheese. I'll say that. Well, let me put this pizza over here to the side. Alright my friends, we're gonna stop here for now. I was going to make at least another one, but I kind of don't have many ideas for how to make them. However, I'll just show you guys what sets I have left, and then you can drop your ideas for how can I make these different in the comments, and I'll choose the ones that resonate with me the most and do them in a future video. So I got the mini cupcakes, the frosted sugar cookies, the lobster ravioli, the cinnamon rolls, and the caramel popcorn. Thank you guys for watching, commenting, liking, and for subscribing. And now as usual, you guys stay golden and keep on shining until the next video. Bye bye.